People often say with pride, I'm not interested in politics. They might as well say, I'm not interested in my standard of living, my health, my job, my rights, my freedoms, my future, or any future. If we mean to keep any control of the world and our lives, we must be interested in politics. That was a quote from Martha Gellhorn. She was an American journalist, a novelist, and a writer, and she nails it. We have to stay engaged with the world around us. And that's why I'm here today. Hello, friends. My name is Annisa Karim, and I am a proud American. I am an immigrant and I came to the United States at the age of 5. I attended some of the best public schools in Broward County, and teachers treated me as nothing less than equal. And that meant a lot to a little brown girl with an accent. It allowed me to get integrated in the school that I was attending. I'm a member of the first graduating class of Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, and I went to the University of Florida, where I was fortunate enough to study a topic I love. I got a Bachelor of Science and a Master of Science in Wildlife Ecology and Conservation, and I started a career that I still enjoy. Right here in Southwest Florida, I came to manage land, and I started with a lot of gusto, and I started paying attention to what politicians were saying about cleaning the air and cleaning the water and making sure we have a clean and safe environment. And all of that sounded really good, but on the ground, I could see that wasn't really the case. And so that's really what got me involved in politics, something that I was passionate about. Something didn't ring true. So I started listening to these politicians, and it was clear that they were talking the talk, but they were not walking the walk. And so I got involved, civically engaged. I'm reminded of a quote by John Lewis, and he said, "Your vote is precious, almost sacred. It's the most powerful, nonviolent tool we have to create a more perfect union." And certainly he was right. We weren't just given these rights, we fought for them over the years, right? Women's rights in public schools, the 40-hour work week, minimum wage and food assistance, Social Security, all of these things were not just given to us. We fought for them. We voted for people that had the political will to make those things law, right? So the Civil Rights Act would not have come about if we didn't have politicians that absolutely believed that that was the right thing to do, but they had to be elected by the people. And so today I come to you as a neighbor and a friend and a fierce fighter for your rights and for my very own rights. In Florida this year, there are 6 amendments on our ballots. And I'll tell you right off the bat that I hope that you do your research on all of them. I certainly have done mine. I will tell you that I hope that you vote no on Amendment 1. I hope that you vote no on Amendment 2. And I hope that you vote yes on Amendment 4. So let's just start from the very beginning, right? We are human beings. We are all born equal in dignity and in rights. That's regardless of color or gender or where you're born. We are all born equal in dignity and in rights. And these claims, inalienable and inherent within humans, because we are human. It is our humanity alone that allows us to claim that we are born equal in dignity and rights. And so these rights are fundamental and necessary for us as individuals to survive and to realize our full potential. And these claims are human rights, and sometimes these human rights are translated into legal rights. So the late, great Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, "The decision whether or not to bear a child is central to a woman's life, to her well-being and her dignity. It is a decision she must make for herself. When the government controls that decision for her, she is being treated as less than a full adult human responsible for her own choices." Roe versus Wade was decided on January 22nd, 1973. At that time, the US Supreme Court issued a 7-2 decision holding that women in the United States had a fundamental right to choose whether to have abortions without excessive government restriction. And this actually struck down a Texas abortion ban as unconstitutional. And this ruling basically said that the right to an abortion was on par with other fundamental rights, right? The right to vote, the right to marry who you choose, the right to due process, the right to free speech. all of these rights were on the same level as the right to have an abortion. And so with Roe, the court ruled that the fundamental right to privacy is encompassed in a woman's right to decide, along with her family and doctor, whether or not to continue a pregnancy. So many people that think about Roe versus Wade think about this fight as a fight for preserving a woman's right to choose what happens to her body. And certainly that is absolutely true, but it is wrapped up in a broader right to privacy. And that's something important to remember. The right to decisional privacy is not established in the Constitution. The right to make decisions without the government interfering comes from a decision made in 1972 when the Supreme Court said that a married couple had the right to use contraceptives with a doctor's prescription. So Roe versus Wade extended that argument to say that the government cannot decide whether a woman has children or not. The right to make decisions about her own body was established around the right to privacy, thereby making decisions about reproduction a privacy rights matter. This is important to remember because Roe versus Wade was the cornerstone in holding up laws that guarantee our rights to privacy. And so when a woman's right to have abortion was overturned by the recent Supreme Court ruling, we started to see a domino effect in how politicians were talking about the rollback of our other rights. The primary goal of the organizations that fought to overturn Roe versus Wade was to take away our bodily autonomy. It's not just a woman's right to choose what happens to her body. It's they want to take away the rights of the LGBTQ community, the rights that the advancements and the rights we have as civil rights, women's rights, and voting rights in the courts. So a lot of our rights are held up or were held up by Roe, and that's why Amendment 4 is so important on our ballot this year. They want to roll back the clock and reestablish a stronger patriarchy underpinned in religious authority. They will not stop with Roe versus Wade. Amendment 4 in Florida is about limiting government interference with abortion, and it's about so much more. So please, please, please vote yes on Amendment 4. My friends, it is the year 2024, and we have lots to do to make our community and our state and our world a better place. Climate change is an existential crisis. We have kids growing up hungry and unhoused, and some of our elected officials in Florida are trying to take away our reproductive rights instead of trying to make our state better. So in this so-called free state of Florida, our politicians have no problem taking away our freedom and right to decide every aspect of our reproductive rights. Our right to bodily autonomy is not up for debate. Only when we have full autonomy can we have full equality. And so please vote yes on Amendment 4. And also look at the elected officials that you have the opportunity to vote for or against. Just know that when you vote, when you get everyone you know to vote, everything can come to fruition, right? So think about these politicians like Senator Rick Scott. You know, he talks a lot about caring about his constituents, but he wants to gut Social Security and Medicaid. He's a fraudster, right? When he was governor, he cut billions in public education. He's trying to turn back the clock, just like Byron Donalds and Matt Gaetz. These are people that continue to get elected over and over to serve their own special interests, but really do nothing for us as people. And I want to throw out another quote for you. This is something that empowers me. It makes me feel like I have something to contribute to my community. This is from one of my heroes, Jane Goodall, and she said, "You cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make." And that sounds awesome, right? I mean, certainly we want our actions to have meaning in this world. But if they take away our rights to vote, if they take away our civil rights, if they take away my right as a member of the LGBTQ community to marry the person I love, then I have less of an opportunity to make an impact in the world around us. So that human right, born of dignity and equal rights, I don't have that anymore. There's a lot on the line. And, you know, the beautiful thing is we have a right to vote, but we just have to get out there and do it. So please make sure that you grab your friends and family, tell them how important this election is to you, talk to them about the issues and the people that are running for election, and get out there and vote. I'd like to talk a little bit about Amendment 1 and how insidious this amendment is. I'm asking that you vote no on Amendment 1. And what Amendment 1 would do if it passed would be make school board elections partisan beginning in the year 2026. So right now, all registered voters in the state of Florida, regardless of party affiliation, are able to vote in nonpartisan primary elections for school board. That's how it is, regardless of your party. Even if you don't claim a party, you get to vote in a non-primary, rather in a primary election, in a nonpartisan election. If Amendment 1 passes, this will change. And Florida is a closed primary state. So basically, if you are from a minor party or claim no party at all, it's very possible that you will not have the opportunity to vote for school board members. This amendment can disenfranchise, or has the potential to disenfranchise, over 4 million Florida voters. And in fact, in 1996, our Constitutional Review Commission said partisan politics have no place in education. And that's the best way to put it. Partisan politics have no place in education. So please vote no on Amendment 1. I'd like to touch a little bit today on Amendment 2 as well. This amendment is called the right to hunt and fish. And that sounds great, right? But it's very misleading. We already have the right to hunt and fish in the state of Florida. It is enshrined in our Constitution. Amendment 2 opens up quite literally a Pandora's box here. To be clear, hunting and fishing are not under threat. What Amendment 2 does is it enshrines and elevates cruel and inhumane methods to kill animals, basically. We've seen these measures in other states. They're using the term traditional hunting methods, which could include steel traps, poisoning animals, could allow dogs to chase animals onto private property and allow hunters to pursue those animals. It's really, really a cruel way to dispatch of an animal. And we already have the right to hunt and fish in this state. Let's not allow these politicians to mislead us. Please vote no on Amendment 2. So my friends, thank you for listening to me today. I really hope that you have checked your voter registration status, that you have a plan to vote, you know where your voting precinct is, and that you are going to vote. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.